Once you hit that point on the Ricky where you do have that shard, you've got all the setup in the world, and you can just kind of run around, do what you want.
You reminded me of what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot about all those glimpses back. I had to forget. I had to. How do you think I slept remembering that, John? It was terrible.
It was.
If you weren't here yesterday, you can look at the broadcast from yesterday. I don't recommend it, but you can do it at your own risk. Moo's going to run up high ground. Rises does not want to burrow. This is too many heroes. Lowdyne, no points to the glimpse back yet. They'll get a D ward off though. Very, very nice here to get started. And I highly doubt Alpha want to fight level 1. Like, their heroes just don't do a great job of it.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the greatest presence there. Maybe they still keep poking and prodding. We've seen a little bit of sneaking around to grab extra runes, although Bait are in position to still take control up top. So still a bit of a back and forth there. I am keen to see just how well Soul can hold his mid lane down the line. I think that's the one lane that needs to really pop off, because if this Storm goes behind, man, it just doesn't farm that well. It takes up so much space to get online.
Yeah, I mean, they already said it, right? Like, the Storm's not a good hero anyway. It's a bad Storm game as it is. I mean, Braille suffered on it yesterday. I think Fear mentioned that, and they did win, but he did suffer quite a lot. Topside Monster's suffering right now, losing half his HP on the LC, but he's going to be just fine to walk his way out. We do have a chance as well to have a look at a bit of a video we have prepared. Believe we ended up speaking to Dendi, and we asked the man what message he has to the fans. Let's hear from Dendi.
Guys, thank you for supporting us. We will try our best. Let's go. We're gonna destroy with you. Support, shields in chat. Let's go.
I mean, if there's one thing you can say about the man, even though they haven't had the greatest run in the NADPC, and even though, their entrance into the NADPC was somewhat controversial, you've got to appreciate the man always smiles.
Yeah, Dendi's always such a cheerful fellow, always filled with positive energy. We saw in his interview yesterday as well. He was just so damn happy, and it's always nice to see. And the guy still got it. He's still a player that you want to cheer for, that still plays really well.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that maintains itself here. Of course, Alpha, their backs are against the wall. This is their only chance to keep this slot in Div 1. They've got to force out tiebreakers by winning this. And after the Bait performance from yesterday, after this draft coming out, it doesn't look like the easiest time in the world for Alpha, right? Like, they managed to give away this Ricky for Moose. He's already having a great lane down bot. I mean, Tiger's already way low in HP. And they haven't even cut the tree line. They don't even care about that aspect of the tree. And because you've got this NP versus Ursa matchup, you've got all this range, you've got the threat of the Ricky, you can always just play poke with that Treant. You're pretty happy. Like, you just twack away at Rises. You can still get farmer here in Funnick. Rises isn't going to be held off by much, but you can try.
Funnick going to be chased down. He'll go for a TP out. They won't have a way to stop it, though. Well, Rises, if he had Overpower up, he probably would have found that kill. It's the only level 2 at the moment for Rises, so can't really afford to have that up quite yet. Funnick certainly has to be a little bit cautious. Definitely not the easiest lane in the world, and it is a pause for Ricky you're with as well, right? Like, there is a limitation to how much Moose can do.
Yeah, there's only so much in the early laning phase. Moose has been giving a lot of space out for Funnick to get some solo EXP as well. Just hits its level 2 now. They've got a massive creep wave coming in, so that should alleviate some pressure. One thing that's really working out well for Alpha is the laning is looking pretty good. Crawler's been really effective in sniping these couriers. That's his second courier snipe already. And he's just been able to cut off the supply chain of Bait to maintain themselves, to get that early items to kind of work the lane. No early boots, no early timings on maybe at least a rate band value for Stonebank. And that just gives a little bit more for Monster to play here.
It's back. They've got Crawler in the kinetic field. Stonebank, I don't believe will have anywhere near the damage to get the kill. In fact, now the toss back onto Lowdyne. Slow is there from Stonebank. I don't know if they can keep this fight going, but Lowdyne's still being chased down. Lowdyne, however, he'll secure first blood onto the Tiny first. So a decent trade so far, but Stonebank needs to get himself out. But he will. Low on regen, he will drop a salve in the base for Lowdyne to bring back, so he'll be just fine. And overall, a pretty damn good start here for Bait.
And they find the kill they'd want. They're getting their lanes out. You are still fairly happy on Alpha. Like, the CS lead is not insignificant. They're working their lane especially well on Rises. Funnick, his pressure is just not really coming out. Again, a slower start when you have that support Ricky. And even the mid lane for Soul, he's having a decent enough time up against Dendi. And if he's uncontested, I mean, the rune control has to come out here for Bait. They've got to stop Soul from finding that first power rune. from getting a rotation out with that Dream Coil ready and just try to apply a little bit more pressure, because with this kind of start, Alpha, they could get enough room out to sustain that farm between the Ursa and the Storm.
They certainly could. Because this is still a fight, I believe, over who's going to get relegated here in Division 1, back to Division 2. I could be wrong about that. We should double check, but
It is.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, if Alpha wins 2-0, we're going to have tiebreakers.
Great.
For the last two, a three-way tie.
Funnick, oh, just barely. Rises, he has that overpower, can secure the kill. I think Funnick may have been like half a second maybe off TPing away, but just couldn't quite get there in time.
Yeah, they're just punishing this more passive lane for bait down bot. An Ursa can get really aggressive level 3 up. You've got your full complement of your toolkit ready, so you can just run heroes down. The NP, it's not the safest in the world solo, and there's not much a Ricky can do to alleviate that. Even Dendi mid, when Soul gets that opportunity for the Overload and the Vortex and Remnant play, you can drop pretty fast on a puck. You have to kind of play at the distance there.
Funnick again. Bottom lane, so much damage. He will barely get out this time. Rises had the overpower on cooldown. Moves to be chased down a little bit, but Rises still going for a dive in. He has the overpower, so Moose has no way out. Look at the tree blocks though. Oh, Funnick. You love to see it. I don't know if I can call that worth there for Rises. Meanwhile, top lane, a bit of a chase out. Crawler gonna get slowed up by the Wild Axes, and Stonebank should have the damage output to take him down, if he can find him, that is. Problem is, he does have a... No, he doesn't have a creep wave on the way. He's fine. TP away, though, from the Tiny. So Crawler going to be okay. Going back to that bot team fight for a moment. Rises may not be too happy about that. Like, he dives T2 towers and he finds the Ricky, but he gets punished for it. Meanwhile, mid lane, a bit of a gank attempt happening here on the Storm. Soul happy to continue fighting Dendi as they don't have the damage output to take him out. Of course, he is level 6 as well, so... can always walk out of the smoke screen and just kind of zip away if he needs to. So far, not too bad of a game for Alpha, 3-2. More rotations incoming to the mid lane to make sure Soul can pick up the power rune, and he does. Gets a nice double damage for himself. Then you're getting rather unlucky, looking for the top rune spot. And with that, Alpha, again, still in a pretty decent position.
Yeah, again, just stronger lanes coming out from them. The presence for bait, we're not going to feel it for a little bit longer. You've got a support in the Disruptor that can be active, but kind of needs follow-through. You don't really have that. You could tie in with a Dream Coil, but it's a little bit easier said than done. And for your Ricky, for Moose, you're still looking at that 15-minute mark with the shards, and it doesn't feel like it will come out fast.
Oh, Coil mid lane, smokescreen placed as well. Soul trying his best to get out. Oh, the uphill miss. Dendi missed uphill, and Moose gets taken out. I don't know if that was a miss uphill or that was the living armor bonus coming in from the armor there from the Tiger Treant, but I'm pretty sure he missed.
Yeah, just... they try to get that aggression going. They get punished for it again. Just... right now, you're mainly physical. The living armor just stops a lot of that output. They've got an opportunity on Stonebank up top as well, though he is a little bit tankier to go for, but Monster's starting to do quite a fair bit of damage with his spells.
Stonebank, he's one creep away from level 6. He's going to have it now, so he was kind of trying to bait them to keep going for this. Glimpse back. They've got the LC Monster, already very, very low in terms of HP. Stonebank not getting lucky with any ensnares, and in comes Soul to try and help out. Stonebank again still has the ulti ready, just waiting. He'll pop it now. He's onto Soul, but again the ensnares are not flying out for him, and he's not healing up enough. He might just go down, and he will. Great rotation in from Soul. Maybe a little bit lucky again, not getting rooted up, but it happens.
Yeah, it happens. It is a level 1 Berserker's Rage, so a 14% chance. Not quite the most probable outcome there for a Troll. And Alpha, they're doing a great job of just working this map. They're all over the place. They're using this mobility. They're using this early presence they have to just build up. There's so much space coming out here for Rises down bot. Basically a solo lane. Free farm coming out from Ursa. #1 in net worth. The defusal timing is going to be pretty quick. And for bait, they've got to hold out. They've got to hold out until the levels come in, until that Ricky shard is up, until you have a couple more items up in Funnick. Because at the moment, you don't really have anyone to connect with. You don't even have level 6 up on Lowdown yet, which, to be fair, it's a support, but it's still ways off.
Mid lane, they're going to try into Soul once again. This time they will secure. Moose, he'll pick up the kill. Crawler trying to trade some harass here. Funnick's going to move in as well, so Crawler, trapped in the Sprout, is just going to drop. Moose, he'll find a double kill. He'll be very, very happy with that. Walk right out of that mid lane now. And that mid-tier 1 tower suddenly under siege here from the side of Bait.
Yeah, and they can try to stall Tigress around to try to clear the creep wave out. But you do have pretty good right-click damage coming out from Funnick. He will go for the reset instead of forcing the issue. Again, you get a great kill in the Storm. You're starting to punish this greedier mid. He is...
Oh, there we go. Oh,
No,
he tried to
couldn't
illusion dodge. He tried. He was close.
Close. Not close enough. Still, you know, it's the first time it's happened. Not the worst thing in the world yet.
That's not the
It
worst.
happens once, you're alright with it. Immediate smoke out anyway from Alpha. Look for an opportunity. And they're doing the right thing. Again, they need to get the Storm rolling. You want to look for pickoffs. You can connect with your Tiny quite well. So you just keep running and gunning. Look for these easy heroes to pick off. Like, say, Lodine. Very easy to target, go for. They've got vision here as well up top, so they know that Stonebank is more than likely alone. Could get a good collapse on top of him.
Absolutely. Stonebank. Well, he's being watched here by an observer ward just placed by Crawler. Zip in. They're going to try it for the troll. He does have battle trance, but he may not have the time to pop it off, and he won't. The jewel is there. They'll have plenty of damage to make sure Monster can finish off the kill. Another nice pick off here from Alpha. And man, you look at the farm difference between Stonebank right now and the Ursa of Rises, it's huge. 1.5k ahead is the Ursa. And this is an Ursa that hasn't gone Battle Fury. So like Diffusal Blade's gonna come up, that he's just gonna run at them. And with the farm of Stonebank, you really just can't do much.
Yeah. You're just going to have to sit and farm. They try to catch hero. Good silence.
Good silence, but they don't have the Static Storm to follow up. They'll commit the Dream Coil instead, hoping it'll be enough time, and it will be. Funnick does throw out the ulti to make sure of it. Crawler gonna try for the TP. Just barely makes it out. Very nice timing on that. Knowing the glimpse wasn't up. Moo's even gonna run in for a little bit more, try and hold down Tiger. Does give the vision for the glimpse back. And with that, they do at least get a bit of an extra kill here. Finding the Treant Protector, that'll be a 2-for-1. Happy days here for Bait. It does really feel like they're going to be kind of suffering on the dire side until they have that that level 15 mark up, so Moose can pick up the sleeping dart on this Ricky. Because until then, you are basically just playing 4v5.
Yeah, they've got to wait 4 more minutes for that to come out in Moose. He will have the gold by then, more than likely. With the free space, Rises already has the Diffusal, so your Ursa's ready to go. At the least, the side of Bait clears out the mid before the Ursa can come in to respond. And Rises is already kind of keen to get some action going. He's been farming so well, #1 in net worth. With the Diffusal, you can just kind of run in. It's a little bit harder to gap close for the Ursa coming into this. There is a lot of kite coming out from Bait. But if you can find the angle in, it should be relatively easy to get some faces melted. Still, Funnick always has to save with a TP in and a Rod of Atos.
Oh, Dendy somehow still got that TP off the Avalanche. It was close, but not quite close enough to get the TP stoppage. 6-6 now, very, very slight net worth lead. The way of Bait, still such an even game between these two. Looking back at Soul for a moment, still trying to farm up the Witch's Blade, still a mile off it. Obviously, he's been ganked a couple times in the mid lane, so you can't quite blame him, but again, it does go back to the fact that Storm is not a very good hero right now, and, you know, in terms of farming pace, it's not going to be the fastest.
Yeah, I think the most successful Storm we saw was from TSM, and that was with Arya and a Pugna. You had a mana battery to really enable that Storm. Soul doesn't have that, so he's going to have to jungle a little bit. Lodine has an Invis.
Oh, they kind of revealed they knew where he was, but no, they have a nice glimpse back. He tries to juke it out, but it won't be enough. Very nice rotation there from Lodine. Abusing the vision they have. And with that, they'll get a glimpse back onto the Storm. Meanwhile, mid lane Rises. I mean, he knows they're around the corner. He should not be there. He'll go in rage, snap the Dream Coil, and he will back his way out, but a glimpse is going to be there from Lodine once again. This Ursa, a bit of a sitting duck, and he's going to drop. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat that, John. You saw your Storm get ganked in the Radiant jungle. Sure, you're by your tier 2 tower. You think you're safe because you have a TP point for the rest of your teammates. But if you don't have a team that can really turn fights that easily. Not with this draft.
Crawler?
I mean, he gets the tier 1 down, but it's denied by Dendy.
Damn. Dendy. All over the place. And for Rises, I mean, he was pretty far forward, all things considered. He wasn't right by that tier 2. He was in the middle between the tier 1 and tier 2 spot, which is more than enough for an angle for Bait to find. And this is one of those things with Alpha that we've seen. They can get these strong laning starts, but come mid-game, around this time, it just gets a bit confused. Like, you've got this Diffusal timing on Rises. They do need to blink up. And kiteability is the issue for the Ursa here. But you're also just farming on Storm. You're farming on literally every core. There's no one to make a play. And that just allows Bait to be the ones to be aggressive. They don't need any blinks up. They can just TP in on Funnick with the ATOS up. He's very comfy to follow through on that control. And we are inching towards that shard timing for Moose. That's a big concern. We're 1 minute away and he does have the gold.
He's got the gold stashed away and ready. Sees Monster, waiting for his teammates to make their way over. And here they come. Dendy with a haste rune. He'll be there in just a moment. Monster going to be silenced up immediately. Moose just slowing him down. Rod of Atos to ensure he's got no way out of this. Even the Sprout. Monster, he is still a very tanky boy. They might be forced to coil him for this, and they will do so. Still, he is surviving. Still healing up. Rises moves in. Moose is the one to go down. Oh, Monster, no! He breaks the coil. Oh, he kills himself. Lodine will drop. It'll be a 2-for-1 trade in the end, and Alpha, they might be able to rush Roshan. Monster, he was trying to get out of the Static Storm, but he broke the leash.
I mean, you've got to make a choice. He was going to die to the Static Storm as well.
I don't think he was. I think he had. He just needed to wait
ticks more.
He needed 0.1 second.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if he just waited a little bit more for the Dream Call to fade, could have been the opening. Still, you find a little bit better of a trade. You can go into the Roche, but it is counted out by Funnick. They are still working their way up there. Shard's up now. We are at that point where Ricky is just extra annoying. You don't have anything like a Force Staff to save just yet, although you do at least have Press the Attack to this spell. So it's not the worst thing in the world. You've got a way to handle it. And again, if you look how even this game is, 8-10, slight lead for Bait, and you think about our esports bet.io odds. I mean, at the start it was around 3.4 to 1.14. What are we at now?
5.10 to 1.15, Bait being the favorites, and you can kind of tell why, because now the Storm's going to get caught out down on the bottom side. The Rises is around to try and help out. They've got the coil to lock them all down. Soul just can't survive through it. A very nice overgrowth, but the glimpse back is there. They can't help. The dart as well. Tiger, he's the one being caught out by Stonebank, and he is dropped. It's so hard. Like, Moose, he's doing such a good job on this, Ricky. And you know, I made the comment earlier that it was a 4v5, but in all honesty, Moose, even without the dart, he's been very impactful.
He has been. I mean, the laning phase, again, a little bit rocky, but as soon as he hit level 6, even without the dart, he has been impactful. He's been everywhere. The smoke screen just counteracts this lineup from Alpha so well. It's basically a mini Static Storm without damage. Right? Like, you've got so many ways of just silencing, kiting, and holding these heroes back to give a miss to the two physical cores of Alpha in the Ursa and in the Legion Commander. It's not an easy game to run this lineup.
He's been spotted here, Moose. They place the sentry preemptively just to make sure, and there's your tip from Rises.
Okay.
I mean, I think in a game like this, Alpha do need to try and get into the heads of Bait, but I don't think Moose is going to be that upset about that. Jump in. Dendy, bit aggressive here. Can't finish off the Tiny, but the Glimpse will do the damage. Very nice.
And you can tell Alpha are trying to secure that Roche area. A million sentries dropped across the map just to stop moves, but as a Ricky, you're pretty damn happy. That's economy from the supports that goes away. That's gold that they would probably save up for the Force Staff, not being saved up for the Force Staff.
Nope.
And without that save, smoke screen's effective. You have nothing to be worried about. Your sleeping dart is still, your combination's not broken. You're happy. 9-13. While all of this happens as well, Stonebank has just been farming solo with his Maelstrom up, working onto the BKB. So reaching that point as well where this Troll can just start to scale up. And it comes back to maybe this item buildup from Alpha where they had this early defusal. They didn't have a way to leverage it in some early pickoffs. Now you might be wondering, maybe I should have gone Battle Fury to just keep this farm game going.
Absolutely. Rotations back down here from Bait. Down towards the south, they seem to love hunting down Soul. In fact, never mind, they'll turn back around. Who do they want though? Soul's showing. They know he's there for sure. Question is, can they actually catch him? They'll need Moose to try and set up, and Moose will move in. Soul will take the safe route and just zip through the tree line, and eventually will be okay. Meanwhile, Alpha, they counter Smokers 3 in that Radiant jungle now, rather the Radiant triangle. Mid lane, Dendy. Great target. Will show himself on the creep wave, but instead they're going to try for Roshan. There's a Treant there.
Yeah.
There's a Treant there.
He smoked into that Roche. Still found anyway. Funnick, foresight to just know that it is an Ursa. They will try to make that play, and Bait they're in a pretty decent position to try to play here.
I mean, they're getting close to Roshan going down. Maybe they'll get away with this. Bait may have assumed they've already left the building, and they have not. So they get away with this. Overgrowth out. Funnick does get caught. Rises will move in immediately. Still, they are trying to fight this one out. Bait still rushing around. Glimpse back onto Monster. Rises still trying to go after Funnick. Monster might be in a bit of danger. Funnick, he won't get the TP off he wanted. Now Dendy the one being chased down by this angry bear. Meanwhile, Stonebank, he'll go after Monster. Still Rises, being kind of kited around as Crawler. We'll move back in, but what a static storm! What a static storm from Lodine! He'll lock 3 of them down. Preemptively placed. Rises will finish him off, but what does it matter? That's perfect. Rises, he is still trying, but it's not looking good. He might just drop. Oh, I need to see that again. I need to see that again, Lodine. How does he do it so perfectly?
It's not just that, he got the glimpse off before the duel as well.
Oh.
Like, the duel came out, and all of a sudden, Monsters dragged away. Like, you can't even find that Disruptor kill. Such a great minute place coming out. I mean, he anticipated. I think that tiny blink just kind of telegraphed that forward movement onto that fight. And yeah, it looks good for Alpha to start with. You know, it's a split-up defense from Bait, but it's also a split-up chase. Rises was completely isolated by himself while all the action was spread across the map. And it just allowed this time for them to set up, to go into a choke point, and just get the biggest use of their spells that they could.
And here it comes. It's going to be soon. Rises runs down. The thing is, the storm was zipping in. Look, how perfect is this? It may have been by accident, right? Because he got avalanched. He may have thought, I need to drop this right now. But the timing, it couldn't have been more perfect. He zipped right into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something you expect. You know, you see that avalanche, you know Storm's going to come in. Probably. We haven't seen him. We know he's across the river. And they just punish so well. Bait, they take the Aegis away. They find the kills. They're smoked up. Their cooldowns are pretty low, so they can just keep going over and over and over again. And you just have issues on Alpha. You're going to need the BKB up on Soul to really be comfy in this game. You're also working on it for Rises. Blink for Monster, not too far off. And then you just need these 4 staffs. You absolutely need a 4 staff up on Tiger. Blink being worked on by Crawler, but probably you need 2 4 staffs here to just ensure you've got the save from all of these spells, from all the control Bait is leveraging on you.
Here we go. AK advantage now for Bait. Alpha, I mean, they were off to such a great start during that laning stage, but now things have certainly fallen apart. Yeah, they got the Roshan, but I gotta tell you, John, running in there, even with the smoke, like if there's a Treant just sitting there casually watching, doesn't feel like the greatest idea, and we saw Alpha get punished for that. We'll see what they get done now. I mean, had they gotten away with the Aegis, I would have said otherwise, but you know, now AK behind, Stonebank suddenly top of the net worth board, considering where he was, and now mid lane, Crawler, he'll get jumped there by Dendy for a moment. That'll force a TP in and a nice glimpse back onto the Tiny. Sleeping Dart out. He's got a South going with the press the attack, so he's alright. Meanwhile, top lane, Stonebank just casually going after the tier 2 himself.
Yeah, nothing to really stop him right now. He's very well protected with the BKB up and running on his Troll. Living Armor can only do so much up against the Troll as well. Can't really do too much with that stall time. And Funnick's doing a great job of just ensuring the bot's not shoved in too far as well. Side of Alpha will go for a smoke play though. Fresh BKB on Soul. That could make the big difference if they find the right target with that spell immunity.
Oh, they're going to try something. Alpha. Maybe if they can pick up... I feel like you have to deal with this Disruptor. Right? Like, Lodine just being left in the team fights, you can't have that. They've got to try and find a way to catch him. Because the Static Storm's doing way too much and nobody's got BKBs up apart from Soul. So at least, you know, maybe your Storm can get out of it, but that's about it right now. Rises is probably more important. He's still about 1k away from that BKB recipe. Bait just grouping up as a team. Alpha, they will run into that Radiant jungle, but they were spotted on Division, so now Bait, they're going to smoke up as well. Dendy, he's got a DD room, but it is going to wear off very, very soon. Still, you've got Moose to set up. Tiger, Crawler, have they seen him? It's too late. They've made the jump in. Both supports get caught out, and both supports going to get deleted. Rises, lucky that there's no glimpse available right now, but it won't matter, because Funnick's there with the Rod of Atos. Rises, though, still going to pounce out just fine. But that might open up the mid-tier 2 tower now. Meanwhile, Moose, look at that bot lane. He's still stalking them.
Just ensure it. You know, just be a pest.
Monster's waiting for this. But he showed himself now, so Moose won't make the jump in. They've got no sentries to know he's here. They're just going to take a guess, but the problem is they don't have Dust either. Here we go. Funnick, he'll move in. Rodabay toss out on Sol. That'll force the BKB. Sol has to back out with a BKB TP. Monster hiding in the tree line. Funnick going to have a look around, but won't find him. It's kind of my thing. If you wanted to turn that little engagement, you've got to hold Dust. Someone's got to hold Dust.
You know, they probably just didn't expect that Moose would be stalking them that hard. And they get punished. They lose their mid-tier 2. No outer towers left for Alpha. Bait well and above now in terms of net worth.
Okay. Rise is in trouble, but Monster's behind. Monster can help out here, at least get a jewel off. Rise is still running. Kinetic Field not there in time. Now Lodine's going to get jeweled up. It's a nice initiation from Monster into the zip of Soul. Even the overgrowth being committed. That'll be Lodine gone. Stonebank forced to pop his BKB preemptively just to make sure he can TP away in time. But yeah, it's still a +5 disruptor at the end of the day, but it's something here for Alpha.
It is something. You're slowing down Lodine's rush into the Ags, which is actually scary that he's allowed to build into this really early on with just brown boots and drums. And if he does get the Ags, well, you've got to be really quick with those BKBs because you're not going to be able to save yourself in that static storm any longer. Still, for the side of Bait, I mean, you've cleared out the map. We've heard what Dendy said yesterday about how to tell when you're winning. It's when you start crushing everything, take all the farms, starve out the enemy team. And they're doing exactly that. They're farming all over the map. Just the triangle that's left for Alpha that they have a bit of a tenuous hold on. Beyond that, you're just building up. You've got heroes that scale really well with the farm. You're almost at the Ags for Funnick. You've got the fresh Ags up for Stonebank. So he does have self-dispels on hand. Holding down this troll just gets tougher.
It certainly does. Oh, Sleeping Dart rises. He's very far forward, though. He does have his team behind him, but the kinetic field's going to lock him down. Press the attack out. Rises. He's dropping low, but a big avalanche in the backside from Crawler. Is it going to matter? Funnick, he will go down. Stonebank is still trying to fight this one out. They'll take Monster instead. Zip in from Soul, trying to find Dendy. Monster is going to go down. Dendy even fighting Tiger in the back as Crawler now getting caught in the kinetic field once again will drop on the Tiny. Dendy godlike on the puck, 9-0 and 12. And that's a 3-for-1 trade. Funnick the only one to drop on the Nature's Prophet. Rise is barely surviving through that engagement as well.
Yeah, they at least bail out the Ursa.
Well, Rise is... Oh, he's still there. I mean, maybe he gets a TP.
No.
Why are you still there? That's what I'm confused about. Like, he was D-warding,
Yeah.
I think. But if you're D-warding, you know they can see you.
Yeah, that's the second time I think this game where he's just too far forward to be protected, and well, he didn't have teammates around. Really, no TP points, no nothing. Just gets punished. And Bait, well, they're not gonna ask questions here, Mike. They're gonna be happy.
Sure.
They've got the 14K lead, 13-24. We're at an 8 to 92% win chance for Bait now, and I'm wondering what our esportsbet.io odds are, because that 5 to 1 while ago is just pretty dire already for Alpha. I wouldn't imagine those odds are any better right now.
8.95 to 1.05, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Ag's fully up on Funnick now, so you've got the root on the Rat of Nature. More ways to hold you down in the Static Storm. You don't even need a kinetic field, or even just holding someone down in Smokescreen. The mini Static Storm.
Bottom, Dendy casually moving in. They've got the Axe now on Funnick, so they just root the Monster LC in place. When he popped the Blade Mail, he was looking for that dual attempt, but with Funnick now with the Axe up, that leash, it's so obnoxious.
That it is, and did they steal a Psychic Headband away? No, it's there, it's all right. So a little bit more cast range as well coming out for Lodine if he does want to take that Psychic Headband up. Ags as well for a Disruptor. I mean, jeez. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Ags Disruptor. That just... the panel pointed this out, but this draft from Alpha, it's just so hard to play with this lineup coming out from Bait. Like, you just have so much AoE, you have so much kite, you have so many ways of stopping the storm, even with the BKB. It's hard to find that cope here. Ags, perhaps on Soul. Say BKB, Kayasanj, Ags. Once you have an AoE Vortex, you can kind of tie into that. Avalanche toss onto people, get Rises to focus in on one target. Rises is having to work on the MKB for the mischance here. And they are going for a smoke play on Alpha. So if they get a good ambush, this could lead to Roche for them.
They're going to start Roche anyway. 5-man smoke up is there from Alpha. We see they're going to try and force a fight out of this. Both scans are going to miss. Alpha, they should have their smoke break if they just move right next to the Roshan pit.
Scan.
Oh, they walked into it. Well, that's unfortunate. Still Rises. Rise is going to jump in. Stonebank's in the fog. They'll go for a duel out, but there's your Static Storm. It won't matter though. Rises still going to find Stonebank. It's a decent fight so far. A 1-for-1, but they've lost the troll without buyback. That's massive for Alpha. Still Funnick. Gonna try and force a fight out of this. Meanwhile, Lowdine being chased down. They want that disruptor gone, and they'll have it. Two down. Dendy though. Dendy! Oh, there it is. Dendy finds Rises.
He just focused in on that Ursa. Yeah, you have to buy back in Lowdine, but now you can clear Roche. It's not the fastest process with just Funnick. Oh, Tiger?
Tiger. Yeah, he's gone.
He has a gem too.
Yeah, he does, John. Not anymore, he doesn't, but he did.
Well...
Dendy's 14-0-12.
Yeah, I mean, we said it at the start. He still has it.
He does still has it, doesn't he? Like, it's very interesting to think it's been this long since the man won TI. And he still and I know people are going to say, oh, Mike, it's this isn't a great team they're against, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to see you guys go 14-0-12 against these guys.
Yeah, I mean... The thing is, Dendy makes it look easy.
He does,
right? He makes it look easy. But it takes a lot of skill to make it look easy. And you have to remember, Alpha, I mean, they're playing elsewhere. I think other third-party tournaments. And I did see them actually beat another team 2-0. I believe it was Infamous yesterday that I saw while casually looking for some Dota fiending at the off-Rs for us. So Alpha is not a bad team. They can beat other teams too. It's just NA, maybe a lot more competitive than you'd think, Mike.
The way I like to think about it, right, with Dendy, is it's not that the man's lacking mechanical skill anymore. It's more so that he's lacking direction in a game. And I think that's why Na'Vi was such a favorite and still is to some people back from the TI1 to the TI3 era, right? It's because you had this mastermind in Puppy, and he had this mechanical god in Dendy back then. And it was just a perfect combination. And I feel like that's kind of what Dendy's been lacking for however many years it's been now. But mechanically, he's still got it. Mid lane, Stonebank. Gonna run right into Rises. This is not where he wants to be, or maybe he does. He'll go for the fight. Battle Trance popped immediately. Rises enraged, but it's not looking too good for him. In fact, the duel is out. Backline's Furion has been caught. Rises is gonna try and help. The duel has been won. Vortex out onto the troll now. They are dishing some damage out to Stonebank, but Rises is gonna drop once again as Dendy has a double damage rune. That'll be his 16th kill of the game on the puck. Make that 17 kills.
Yeesh.
Whew.
I mean... 16 to 31, 17-0-12 for Dendy. Dendy bots is just all over the place. And it takes them so much just to kill off Funnick. It's the treant. You don't care. Stonebank gets the town. Dendy's not being locked in. The push still goes blazingly fast with a troll. Gonna be able to find probably 2 sets of racks. I don't see Alpha having any counterplay while Overgrowth's down. They could try to zip around here. But there's always that Lowdine tried it again. Doesn't work this time. He dropped the statics. Yeah, Funnick gets a tip off.
It's worth it. I mean, they don't really need it at this point. So whatever, I'm going to try. I don't care. There you go. 1 rack's down. They might still go for another. Obviously, the Stonebank troll feeling very safe right now with the 3 minutes on the Ags. Or rather, the Aegis, excuse me. Won't do it, though. Gets a Satanic first. Just in case he needs it. 22k advantage here for Bait. Alpha not out of this game yet, but certainly not looking very good. Rises kind of down up top by himself. He did have Tiger behind him, but that's about it. Bit of a hunt here for Dendy on the puck, but they're not going to find him. So they'll try to push out the bot wave while they have a chance. Problem is they will need to be around to defend the top wave.
Yeah, as this game drags on, I mean, you're just hitting more power spikes for Bait. Level 25 talent for Dendy. BKB Pierce on the Dream Coil. It's going to feel impossible to actually fight back. You're going to have to be really disciplined with how you jump in and out and how you target here for Alpha to hold this defense off.
We'll zip in, they'll try and chip away. Vortex is there, but Cyclone's going to catch him. Moves with the Yule Scepter. That's an unexpected itemization from the Ricky into the root out from Funnick. Soul kind of getting a bit of a warning shot there from Betas. Now they have found Crawler on the Tiny. Rises, he's going to try and jump in with this. BKB out, Static Storm drop, but the BKB was there in time, so they're going to be all right. They'll walk out. I can't say the same for the train as they are still trying on to the troll, but Stonebank is just huge at the moment. He is just not suffering. Keep in mind, he still has a secondary life plus the Satanic. Dendi finds a triple kill on the Dendi puck. 20-0-12 now on the puck, by the way.
Very balanced, has his level 25 talent. Octarine up, so Dream Coil cooldown's fairly low. BKBs just won't save you anymore. And Stonebank still has time here.
Rise is going to jump in the backside, trying to find Lodine. In comes Soul as well, just trying to get the Disruptor. Lodine is going to go down, but Monster, he made a jump in for this as well. He's kind of been debated by his own team at this point. He just can't get out of the Sprout, and he is dead. Nothing like a Quelling Blade to help him out there. Into the Tree and Protector they go. Tiger's gone. 3 down without buyback. In goes Rise. Trying after Funix. Soul will be there to help out. Stonebank, though, getting right to work.
No.
It's time to press the G letter. Press those buttons, boys. There we go.
There we are. It's a rough one for Alpha. I feel like they did have a pretty decent early start. Like, there were some shining moments there. They weren't... Like, the laning was a lot stronger. They managed to find some kills, and especially in comparison to what we saw from Thiuth yesterday, where